Australia series. No one better than you. I was watching that Sydney innings, the highlights. I was watching 2004 year 178 and this. You must be very proud of what this team did in Australia.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I think probably, in fact, I became very emotional. I was watching the last day and then following it along with my family. And when Rishabh and Washington were batting, I got very tense myself because when you're not playing the game, you're not in control. And you just wanted India to beat and win the series, especially what has happened in Adelaide and what has happened before the Gabba Test match, where everyone were talking about Indians are scared of going and playing in Brisbane, where Australians never lost since a long time. But just the way they batted, twice I cried. Once in 2011 when India lifted the World Cup, because I always wanted to be part of a World Cup team, and I played alongside this group of players who were so close to me, and they went on to realize their dream of winning the World Cup. And I always wanted to beat Australia in Australia. I was not able to do that as a cricketer, and I was so proud that this young Indian team did that. So tears came down my eyes, and I mean, words cannot express what a wonderful achievement, inspirational achievement, not only for the cricketing fraternity, but the entire country.
You've scored so many hundreds. I mean, just please, can you make us understand how tough is it? Because you are not simply playing an Australian cricket team. You are playing the crowd, you are playing everyone. So all of this taken together to score runs in Australia, beat Australia and Australia, just make me understand how tough it is.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort. It's not only about your skill, but it's about your mindset. It's about how tough you are, how ruthless you are. We talk about aggression. Aggression, not necessarily the verbal aggression which you display, but the inner steel and resolve you display. And I think it's so important because nothing is given easy by the Australians. And I realized this the first time I played against them at the under-19 level, 1994. For every run, every wicket you have to earn. Nothing is given easy by them, because they've got that killer instinct. They've got that never say die attitude, and they're brought up in that fashion. So beating them in their own backyard, fighting against all the odds, while I always felt that Australian crowds are the sporting crowd, but this time I think it was unfortunate what has happened in Sydney, the racial abuse to some of the Indian players. The Australian crowd always enjoy seeing good contest between their national team and the visiting side. But a lot of things are stocked up against you. So I just felt that if you have to beat Australia, whether at home or in their backyard, you have to be at your best as far as your mindset is concerned. And it's not easy.
Just, again, I mean, I go back to Sydney. That is not a series that the results worked for us, but that 100 of yours changed you as a cricketer.
Yeah.
Do you think what Rishabh Pant achieved here will change him as a cricketer?
I'm sure. What he has done in Sydney and then following that up with a fantastic match-winning knock in Brisbane, 2 defining knocks of his career. He has scored even before that. He scored 100 in England. Even in Australia last time he scored 100 in Sydney. But just the maturity he has shown from one match where he was not able to finish the match, because if Rishabh would have batted for probably another 1 hour, the way he was batting, India would have actually had a chance of winning the Sydney Test match. But then he realized what he was not able to do, and very few times you get an opportunity in the next Test match itself, which Rishabh got in Brisbane. So he learned from the mistake he did in Sydney, and without curbing his natural stroke play, he was very choosy of the shots he was going to play without compromising on your natural instinct. So I think the Brisbane 100 will define Rishabh Pant as a cricketer. It will give him that confidence and the belief that what is the formula for him to perform at the highest level. So definitely a career-defining innings from Rishabh.
Anyone, any cricketer you go and ask, and he or she will tell you that Test match cricket is the pinnacle format. So all of us know that the World Test Championship is there, looming. How important is this? I mean, we are right there, and maybe good series and we are there for the final. How important is this for this Indian team?
Yeah, it's very important, because in one days or in T20 you have the World Cup to look forward to. Whereas with Test matches you don't have. You feel very happy when you beat a quality side like England, Australia, especially when you're traveling to their backyard and playing. Whereas Test Championship is a reflection of how you played over a period of time. And I think India has been very consistent. Yes, they didn't do well in New Zealand at the start of 2020, but now they're back on track. Beating Australia was a big achievement, and that's what the Indian team would want to do. Play that finals in Lords. And for me, what is really exciting thing is all the role models, whether it's Virat Kohli, whether it's Kane Williamson, Joe Root, Steve Smith, they give so much of value to Test match cricket. And this series actually proved how exciting Test match cricket is. And I feel Test match cricket is a reflection of life. And the amount of life lessons I've learned from this victory of the Indian team over Australia is just unbelievable.
Tell me a little bit more. This is fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's just about never to accept failure. How to cut out the white noise which happens outside the dressing room. When India got bowled out for 36, no one gave them a chance, but it can happen. It happened in the World Cup. One bad hour and suddenly they lost to New Zealand. Doesn't mean that India is a poor one-day side. They had a phenomenal record, leading up to that semi-finals in in Old Trafford, in Lancashire. So I think what they have displayed is when you're down, you have to have a lot of self-belief in yourself. Never ever underestimate your strengths. And the other thing is always believe in your partner, believe in your teammate, and that's what good teams are made of. That's how a family also runs, and that's what I learned so much from watching these boys play and beat Australia. A lot of life lessons, and I was fortunate that I always learned that in my career also. And there have been various occasions where we were down and out, but we pulled it back, by showing that resolve. So I think all these players have given a very good lesson of giving value to Test match cricket. And once you're a good Test match player, automatically you'll be a good white ball cricketer, but it's not necessarily the other way around. So I think it's great to see they're giving so much of importance. It's great to see the young Indian players celebrating the way they did in Australia, who we call so-called T20 generation players, but they give enough value to Test match cricket, and they are happy performing at the highest level in red ball cricket.
I was speaking to Saurav on the day of the win, and he said, look what we started in 2003-04. We wanted to. The life finally has come full circle. You were part of that tour, played brilliantly, won, almost there, comes full. It must be feeling great for you.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's no mean achievement, beating Australia. And I think as a cricketer, you always want to be challenged, and your character will actually come out when you go out and perform in uncomfortable situations, in tough situations, when you're forced to play out of your comfort zone. And that's why overseas wins are always special. I have learned that in my career, there have been a lot of instances where we enjoyed winning overseas, even a test match, more than winning series at home, because it's always going to be in tough, challenging conditions. And to beat Australia in Perth was probably special for me in 2007. To beat South Africa in Durban was special to me in 2010-11. And to beat Australia in Brisbane is a special achievement. It's no mean achievement. So it's fantastic. Last time when we won, they told there was no David Warner, there's no Steve Smith. I mean, we're not cribbing that we didn't have 7 or 8, recognized players, but still we went on to win the series against a full-strength Australian side, which is a great achievement.
Fabulous.